Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2025. You guys forgive me. I have just really enjoyed these last few weeks. I took them completely off. I took everybody, everybody took the week between Christmas and New Year's. Like I had told you guys, everybody took it off. It was a much needed mental break for me. I think it was good for everybody. I told everybody just go home, do your maintenance, do whatever you got to do. I'll see you guys in 2025. We stayed home. We did a bunch of house stuff. Lexi got a room makeover. We did a bunch of stuff. So it was beautiful, time off. I needed a mental break, you guys. 2024 was a hard year. It was a hard year for me and for all of my guys. I don't really know where this video is going to go, but it is going to be an overview, a kind of general overview of 2024 and all of our trials and tribulations. And hopefully, what I plan to do in this year in 2025 as it pertains to Hot Shot. 2024 was tough. Rates stayed very, very competitive. Brokers definitely had us carriers fighting against each other to book loads. If you were a new authority in 2024, you struggled, right? You struggled. Maybe you made it, maybe you didn't. Was a rough year. I feel like I got into this. I feel like I got into trucking, my own authority and everything at a pretty good time in 2019, and had a couple good years. And the last year or two has been tough. The things that have saved my business are my outreach. That has helped. Good safety scores have definitely helped, as well as being an aged authority who is already set up with so many brokers. Probably still at this point, I've been in Texas for 2 years. At this point, 90% of the freight that me or my guys haul is off of the load board. Unfortunately, that is still the reality for us. I am still booking a lot of loads off of the load board and fighting and spending a lot of time on the load board in order to find loads that pay decent, or put loads together, partial loads together, in order to make a fairly juicy run. I've been pretty good at getting all of that done. My guys, I've shared general numbers with you guys. This year and last year in 24, I didn't run as much. I probably ran the least in 2024 as I have any year since I've started. And that was just because I had so many guys leased on. So I started the year in 2024, I started with 6 trucks on my insurance, my 2 trucks, and then I had 4 leased on. And then at the end of 2024, I ended it with 3 trucks on my policy, and actually one was put on hold I have like a hold spot on my insurance. So I started with 6 operators and I ended with 2.5 basically, or two maybe. So that kind of gives you an idea of the volatility of the industry. Even when you lease on, it's not guaranteed that the guys that you start off with in one quarter are going to be there in the next quarter, or the guys that you start off on this quarter are going to be there at the end of the year. It's been a rough year. You guys know, Eddie's truck went down. He's been off for about 6 months now. Jason's truck went down. He went and bought another truck, and then that truck, is having some difficulties. So he's working on repairing that truck, and he still has his Chevy for sale. So that's been a rough path that he's still going through that right now. He's not up and running at this point. I had Chris. Chris was based out of California, and he ran a lot of California freight for me for about 5 months. He decided it was not the right industry for him. The main things, and I'll go over this because these are factors not just with Chris, but with a few guys, right, that they don't like. So I'll go over the dislikes because I think that that's important. Number one, the load board, right? Even though I'm proactive, sometimes you're sitting, and with one of the guys, he wanted to work a certain area, and sometimes it's easy on the West Coast and sometimes it's not. I try to go over things with the guys, and I try to open up their eyes, that, hey, the load board is volatile. Sometimes you may be sitting. Hey, sometimes, we get towards the end of the week and you've got plans. Maybe you got to go home. Then you're just going to deadhead home. That's your choice. Another thing that a few of the guys did not like in 2024, which is of course the brokers. Well, sometimes you get brokers that harass the crap out of you. They want to call, they want to text, they want to email, they leave voices, they're blowing you up, right? Even when they're tracking you. That's what pisses a lot of the guys off, is even though you're tracking me, you can see me pinging on my way, you still want to call me, text me, email me, then they're calling me, and they're calling the driver, they're calling me, and that can be, the over communication is counterproductive for a carrier, for an operator who's out there trying to drive. And so that is a very frustrating and tedious task when a broker really does not understand that you're out there, you're trying to fuel, you're trying to find a place to shower or rest for the night, or you're trying to fight traffic, or you're trying to get around a construction zone, or your GPS rerouted you and then they want to call you 5 times back to back to back. That is frustrating. It's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for my operators. Best I can do is tell them, don't answer it. Don't answer it. The correct way that a broker should be communicating is with the dispatcher first, and then with the driver. So by the driver picking up a phone call, they are taking the communication into their own hands when they should be out there worrying about driving. So that is frustrating when the brokers think that they need to communicate right now with the driver, especially when we're doing tracking. Like, so many loads now are tracked. They all want to send you a link to your phone number, and then they want you to start the tracking, and and la la la. And me personally, and none of my guys, we don't care. Like, track us, please, but don't call us 1,000 times after we're being tracked. Like, leave us alone. Let us do our thing, right? So that is a frustration. And that comes with working off of the open market. I have not been so successful as I was in California in finding direct customers here in Texas. So that is definitely something that's still on my goals list. I'm still trying to find, companies to work with that want to work directly, so that I can plan a little bit better. The brokers, when you work off of the load board, you're lucky if you can get something booked the day before to load the following day. Like, that's pre-planning. If you get it the afternoon before and you know where you need to go in the morning, like, that's pre-planning. Otherwise, these brokers, they upload their posts for available freight like the minute they want you there. So I really don't know why they do that. It is frustrating. It's frustrating for us as carriers, and I would imagine it's frustrating for them. Like, wouldn't you want to be pre-planned? Wouldn't you want to have all your loads for Wednesday booked on Monday or Tuesday at the latest? Like, why are you uploading and posting loads for Wednesday pickup, Wednesday AM pickup, Wednesday morning? Like, you would think that these guys would want their stuff pre-planned, just like I like to pre-plan. So I know which direction I'm going. I know how much freight I'm going to pick up. I have it all planned out, right? I mean, you would think that they want to do the same, but for whatever reason, they just do not. So that is a frustrating, aspect of it. So Chris didn't make it. And then I had another guy up in the Midwest. He didn't want to run hot shot anymore, wanted to go into a big rig. That was a frustrating, situation for me. He left with a negative, balance. So I had to as a company owner, I had to revamp my contract and change things in my contract so that I don't get left, short, with a negative that I have to, deal with later. So I had to deal with that. Everybody's truck was just down, and, then, Jefferson, my poor Jefferson, I haven't even told you his story. His truck went down the same week that Eddie's truck went down, and he struggled. He has struggled ever since he started, just one thing after another. The trailer didn't work, and then the truck didn't work, so then he had to buy another truck, and then he had to buy another trailer, and then he had his own authority, and then he ended up leasing onto me, and then he's just had adversity after adversity, and he's now he just went and bought a brand new truck because he needs 20 grand to fix the old truck, and he don't got it, so he just went and bought brand new truck, and that I'm just praying, God, please please let this be a good truck. It's brand new, so but of course, if you guys watched my videos we know that just by buying a brand new truck, it does not guarantee that it's going to run for 300,000 miles without incident like my two trucks. So my gray truck right now has 325,000 miles on her, and my white truck has 315, almost 15,000 miles on her. And I have been so blessed. I have been so blessed on the two trucks that I got that I have not had issues with. And that has come in handy because in 2024, that gray truck got tossed around like a cheap prom date, okay? She was with, Eddie ran her, Jason ran her, Jefferson ran her at the end of the year for a couple months last year, at the end of the year from like October to December, he ran her. Jefferson missed Thanksgiving. He ran for me during Thanksgiving. He ran for me during Christmas. He has a family and, kids at home, and he was like, Natalie, I gotta run, and that's a hard pill to swallow. And this is kind of like things to think about, you guys, like nobody wants to run during the, not necessarily, I mean, I'm sure there's guys out there, like there's single guys that, they don't care, they don't need to celebrate Christmas and stuff like that. There are guys that are out there and women that are out there that don't mind missing, quote unquote big holidays. If you're not used to that, you expect to be home and, have a bit of a break and stuff like that. And when the need comes that the money is more important at that time than being able to take those few weeks off, it's a hard pill to swallow internally. And then it's a hard, deal to tell your family, like, I'm not going to be here this year. It's not going to happen. I will enjoy Christmas time with you guys in 2 weeks after the new year or something like that. It's tough. It's tough. It's been a very volatile market, you guys. And for me, as somebody who has a business that is trying to grow it a little bit, I mean, I'm not trying to go super huge or anything, but for me, I started off 2024 thinking, hey, this is great, and that was a lot of the reason why I did not run, was because I had so many trucks leased on, and I needed to give them my time and attention and get their trailers loaded and make sure that they have all the information they need to keep their wheels turning. So I opted to take a step back. Even though I had 2 perfectly good running trucks of my own that I could run, I chose to take a step back and, hey, I need to take care of these guys. I chose to lease them on, and it's my responsibility that I can make them as successful as they can possibly be. So that was something that I chose to do. And now, January 5th, and tomorrow is Monday, I'm gonna run. I decided that I would take this opportunity, now that I don't have a lot of trucks leased onto me, I don't have a lot of paperwork to do, that I would run my trucks a bit. So I've got the She Beast hooked up to the old PJ. I did the brakes on the PJ and did a bunch of stuff to that, and PJ's running good. So I'm going to take her to California. I'm leaving out of Dallas, loading up in Dallas tomorrow morning. I'm going to take her out to Los Angeles and hopefully drop off all that freight, pick up some more freight, head to Illinois, then probably bop down to Oklahoma, then go over to Maine. I don't know. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to take the opportunity now that things are slow, at least for the very immediate future, they're slow. And I'm going to take the opportunity to do some runs myself and generate some revenue myself. I put a lot of money into the gray truck, put a lot of money into the white truck, put a lot of money into both of my trailers. All my equipment is running beautifully. So time to go chew up some miles and make some money. So when I come back home, I'll have some more maintenance and stuff to do. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Hopefully in this January, and maybe in February, is hopefully run as hard as I possibly can. You guys, Eddie did put in his 2 weeks notice at the company that he's currently working at. His truck is back. God willing, you guys pray for us that it is correct and everything is right, so he can hit the ground running. He's definitely very excited. He will be coming back in the next couple of weeks here, and we'll see. Hopefully Jason gets the little kinks on his Freightliner worked out pretty easily, and hopefully he'll be back and up and running in the next couple of weeks. But that's the reality, you guys. It doesn't matter if you buy a new truck, it doesn't matter if you buy a used truck, it doesn't matter if you start your own authority or lease on. There are always going to be difficulties. There's going to be struggles. I've had my own struggles. You guys have seen me over the last 4 years, with with all kinds of issues that I have had personally. I've had trucks go down. I had an accident 3 years or whatever ago, I traded one dud of a truck in for the brand new truck, took a bit of a hit, about a $20,000 or more hit on that, just so that I could get into a truck that would run. And thank God my gray truck did run, and she's still running good. But I've had a lot of trials and tribulations, you guys. This is not easy. It's not, think about, you see all of us, right? Us on YouTube, and you're like, oh, they make it look so easy. And when it's good, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to try and detour anybody. Oh, don't get into hot shot. Oh, don't do this. No, go for it. But do it smart, you guys. Don't start. And I'll tell you again, don't start, especially if you're going to go independent right off the bat, meaning you have your own authority. Don't start without no money in the bank. Don't start with a brand new truck and think, oh, everything's going to be great. There's so much maintenance that goes into these trucks because we choose to run hotshot trucks. They require a lot more frequent maintenance and upkeep than a big rig is going to take, and a lot of the things that could go wrong if you lose if your turbo goes out, there's $3,000-$4,000. If your transmission goes out, hey, there's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. If you need to drop a whole new motor in it, shit, I don't even want to think about how much money that costs, but that's well over 10,000, I'm sure. And you have to think about how much home time you're going to be forced to have if your truck goes down. Okay. That's been the struggle with my guys. You have to have money in the bank. You have to have a nest egg. And I mean, I'm on pins and needles if I only have 10 grand in the bank. If I have 30, I'm happy. I'm okay. I'm like, whatever happens, I have the financial means to deal with it. Okay. But at 10,000, you're still not safe. Okay. Because if your truck goes down, it'll eat up 10 grand real quick. And not only that, you need the money for the repairs, right? But you also need the money to float the business, because now your money is going to have to float, or the business's savings, is going to have to float the business for God knows how many months. Look at what my guys have gone through last year. You need a lot of money. You need a lot of money to float you when your truck goes down. It's not just the cost of the repairs, but you have to have savings or credit up the wazoo in order to pull from, to not only sit that 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 weeks that your truck is going to be down, but you're going to have to float your family bills, okay? Which means your mortgage and your wife's car payment and your insurance and whatever else, all of this stuff, the daily cost of living for your household. But you're also going to have to float the company's bills, okay? So that means your insurance, your whatever bills you have to pay, your trailer payment. A lot of guys, they start off and they want to buy a brand new trailer. Well, that comes with a $700, $1,000, trailer payment, and you've got to float that per month until your truck is up and running, or else they're going to come and get that piece of equipment. They don't care. So you not only need the money to fix your truck, you need the money to float you that time when you're in between, while you're waiting for your truck to be repaired. And that is the scary part. And that's the stressful part of this is, do you have enough to make it? Because that's where so many, I don't care if you're in a hot shot or in a big rig, it doesn't matter. That's where guys slip up. They make $4,000 or $5,000 to their pocket every week. But if they're spending $4,000 or $5,000 every week and you're not putting into a maintenance fund, an escrow account, your savings, you have to be financially responsible when you are an independent. When you're an owner operator, you have to be financially responsible. You have to be able to put money aside. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen in my 20 plus years in the industry, because I managed a lot of fleets before I managed my own fleet of this company. And I would see guys, they would make $5,000 back to back to back every Friday for the last 3-4 Fridays. And then they come into me on Monday, they come into the office and then they're like, hey, I need, ask corporate if I can borrow $4,000 because I need, tires on my rig all the way around. And I'm like, dude, you just made 20 grand. Oh yeah, but that's gone. And now I need a loan. And I'm like, that don't make no sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me because Of course, corporate will loan you the money most all the time. Corporate will loan you the money because they're going to take it right out of your settlement, the next however many settlements, but they're going to charge you 10%. You know, that's what all the companies that I worked for previously did. If they did an in-house loan, they're going to charge you 10%. So why would you do that? When you, if you were more financially responsible, you would put the money aside yourself. You look at your tires every day. Come on, we do pre-trips every day. Your tires are telling you over the last 4, 5, 6 months, hey, my tread's getting lower. Hey, my tread's getting lower. Hey, I'm going to need to be replaced. Well, come on, you know? So that's a lot of it is, you know, being financially responsible, being able to put money aside, to pull from money, you know, or being diversified. You know, a good person that comes to mind is Betty. You know, Betty, her meat and potatoes is rental properties. And then she started Hotshot because she wanted to do Hotshot. She wanted to travel and experience that whole thing. Well, Hotshot's not her meat and potatoes. She makes her money off of, you know, rental properties, several rental properties. So she's fine. You know, if she wants to take 3 weeks off on the Hotshot rig, she can park it and still pay the insurance, and she'll be all right. If she, you know, if the truck goes down and needs a new turbo or transmission, hey, she's all right because she's got money that she can pull from in other areas in order to float, you know, something else, just float the Hotshot company a little while, or, you know, diversify. So being diversified is a big deal, you know. And no, don't necessarily depend if you're trying to be a YouTuber, don't necessarily depend on on the YouTube money, because I'll tell you right now, I think for the last, you know, 3 or 4 months, actually my YouTube money, my monetary, you know, what they pay me through the ad revenue has gone up, because it was about $100 a month about 6 months ago. Last month, I think they paid me $400. So that's nail money. Okay. Like that's not even like, that doesn't even make a dent in my mortgage or a truck payment by any means. And, you know, I've got almost 20,000 subscribers. So let me just tell you, like, don't think, you know, YouTube is, oh, huge diversification. It's cool. And it gets my name out there, you know, and people reach out to me and I'm able to help people, but it's not, you know, that's not enough money to be floating, you know, anything, in my opinion, at least from what I've experienced. 2024 was really rough. If you're getting into this, it's still good. You know, don't do it right now at the new year, you know, wait a couple months, because we are in quote unquote the slow season. We'll see what 25 has, you know, in store. I mean, politically, there's a lot of things that change this market. There's a lot of things that change the market. The oil industry, politics, you know, tariffs, right? A lot of stuff, you know, how the military is going, a lot of those contracts, you know, how the automobile industry is going, how well individual other markets are going also changes our transportation market. So however much better the whole economy is doing, usually trucking is doing pretty good too. And when the economy is down and you know, we're having a lot of trials and tribulations across the country in other industries, well, you know, steel with the tariffs and, you know, just all kinds of stuff, then our market gets immediately and drastically changed, you know. So you've got to be able to run and roll with the punches. You've got to be able to have some money in the bank so that, you know, you can roll with the punches, or you're not forced to run. If all you see is $1.20 a mile for the load board, you can afford to take the day off and say, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'll wait until tomorrow and see what happens. You know, you don't want to start this and be so tight, you know, with your payments and your home finances, that you can't afford to wait until a better load comes up. Okay, that's a scary place to be. I've seen it. I've talked to guys, and in the beginning, that was kind of like how I was, but that was in 2019. That was a long time ago. So, but I've seen it, you know, and you don't want to feel like you have to take this load because you don't know how you're going to pay your insurance, your truck payment, your trailer payment, and feed your babies at home, you know. So you don't want to be forced. You don't want to have your hand forced. If you're going to start this, start it smart. If you need help, you guys, join me on the Patreon, you know. $100 a month, you know, to get 3 or 4 hours of my time so that I can coach you through this stuff is more valuable. I mean, it's going to save you hundreds. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I would strongly suggest that you get a mentor. And I've told you all that before. Get a mentor. If it's not going to be me, that's fine. But get somebody in trucking who can teach you some tricks of the trade, you know, who could teach you or at least walk you through load securement, walk you through load boards, walk you through how these brokers are always trying to trick us into some bullshit, you know, who's going to help you along on this journey. Otherwise, you're going to struggle through it and you're going to have to learn the hard way. And that's fine too, because I've done that as well plenty in this industry and just in my life in general, right? We learn by mistakes. But if you can get somebody on your side, you can lessen the mistakes, and you can, you know, you can identify, you know, strengths and weaknesses within your company and within yourself that are going to either hurt you or help you as an operator. And that's the most important thing. So in 2025, my goal is to run, right? I want to run while my fleet is small. Right now, my fleet is small. I want to run as much as I possibly can. I'm going to take the PJ this run, and then I'll probably bring it back, and I'm going to jump in the step deck because Jefferson had the step deck since I've redone it. Jefferson had the step deck, and now she's at home, and brakes are good. Everything's good on her. I'll bring the PJ back, and then I'll jump in the step deck and hopefully run that trailer for a bit. And I really need to, you know, diversify my company and find some direct customers, because that's truly, and I've talked to you guys about this the entire 4 years that, you know, I've been in operation. That's truly where you're going to find better rates, better communication, easier planning. You know, with direct customers, you can plan weeks in advance, you know, weeks in advance. So it's a lot better. And so that's truly, you know, and how can you get direct customers? Well, shit, you know, I mean, I can tell you what I know, but I just also told you that I haven't been able to find any in Texas. So, but, you know, passing out business cards, you guys, do some Google searches. Hey, who's manufacturing what around you? You know, see where they have other offices, you know, a lot of steel places, for example, or hot tub places. They've got, you know, one based in Dallas and then one in Austin and one over here in Houston. And, you know, you can look these companies up and then, you know, find the shipping manager. Hey, you know, go to him, take a dozen donuts. You guys remember me? I always take donuts everywhere to all my direct customers. Well, you know, it's a write-off. It's a $9 write-off that you can get a dozen donuts and go meet up with the shipping manager, shipping and receiving, and say, hey, here's my business card. This is what I do. That's my truck. You know, you can call me directly and I'll help you, and I'll, you know, streamline your process so that you don't have to work with brokers and have Manny, Mo, and Jack and Joe and all these other guys, you know, come into your yard that are ill-equipped, unprepared, you know, show up. Sorry, but not speaking English. Okay. We are in America. That's a frustration. For some shippers and some receivers, you know, so, you know, it's nice when a company can get a hold of somebody like us, but they don't know where to find us. So other than, you know, advertising and of course, you know, putting yourself out there with putting yourself up with a website and on a Google search, you know, they don't know where to find us. So we have to go out and find them. And it's well worth a day or two of research and driving around and cold calling. If it even nets you one direct customer, you know, where you can say, hey, look, I go from Dallas to Austin every day. If you want to run me back and forth, I will run back and forth for you for X amount of dollars per mile, whatever you put on my trailer, you know, whatever, you know, make a deal with them. But there's all kinds of different ways to do it. But, you know, you guys, that's truly load board equals leftovers. I've told you that all the time. You know, a lot of brokers, get in with these brokers, you know, a lot of the brokers that you've already worked with. Start emailing them. Hey, this is me. This is who I am. This is where I run. This is how many trucks I have. You know, put me on your email list and call me. You know, call me before you even, you know, put the load on the board, and I'll like give me an opportunity to help you. So hopefully you don't have Manny, Mo, Joe, and Jack calling you off of the load board, because the brokers get frustrated too. But of course, it's a catch-22 because they want to upload and post their loads as late as possible, and then they want to, sometimes some of them want us to fight against each other in order to, you know, get the lowest price and get it moved. And some brokers don't care. They have no heart. They don't care, and they just want the lowest possible rate, and they will ride your ass until it gets picked up and until it gets delivered. And then there are other brokers there, usually smaller brokers, who like to make more of a relationship with carriers and have, you know, a pool of carriers that are already set up, that they already communicate well with, that they already know they're going to be there, they're going to deliver, they're going to pick up, and it's going to go smoothly. So there are people still out there that value us and value good service. It's just, if you're running off the load board, it's a little bit harder to find. So you guys, I just pray that this year is better. Oh my God. I don't want any more trucks to go down, including my own, Lord, please. You guys know, I bought these Fords. I've been really lucky with them so far. And they're all stock. I didn't do any deletes. I haven't put on a tune. I haven't messed with them at all, other than, messing with the setup, fifth wheel, take the bed off, do this, do that, fenders, other than that, the engines and the guts of my truck are all stock. And I did that intentionally because I want you guys to see, well, how long did Natalie's trucks last? I'm curious to see how long they're going to last. I mean, the white truck has 7,000 something miles, drive miles, and then like almost 3,000 miles, idling miles. So that's 10,000, I'm sorry, not miles, 10,000, almost 10,000 hours that engine, transmission, and turbo, okay, all the same stuff, well, except for the transmission was replaced at 150,000 miles, so technically not the transmission, but other than that, that truck has 10,000 hours on her, okay, and she is still running strong. I'm about to go pull the PJ that's 10,000 freaking pounds. I'm gonna go pull it from Texas to California to Illinois and God knows where else, and she's still running strong. So I want to leave them stock so that I can say, hey, stock, this is how long my engine lasted, this is how long this lasted. And I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars those trucks have made for me. They have paid for themselves time and time again. We'll see how long they last, right? We'll see how long they last. So you guys, I hope and I pray that this is a good year, a better year for us all. For those of us who are still running, who didn't call it quits and throw in the towel, I hope that you guys can find a way to find some direct customers, find a way to diversify, maybe lease somebody else on that is going to give you a soft revenue stream so that it puts less pressure on you to run your butt off and, figure out a way to make all of the bills, to have all the bills get paid. So you guys be safe, take care. More videos will be coming soon because I took my time off. Now I'm going to hit it hard. So I'll see you guys soon, and stay tuned for the next video, which will come in a couple days. You guys be safe. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.